Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Memphis Conservative channel. If you haven't subscribed already, subscribe. Hit that like button and share your comment and share this video and comment down below. So we're gonna talk about this evening. We're gonna talk about what just happened a few days ago that nobody's showing. Not too many people are showing this story. And these are multiples of stories out like this. Been coming out for the past year or two, couple years before that. Um, of different victims that's been getting killed by some of these illegals. I'm talking about real violent illegals that's been over that came over here 9 times out of 10 through the Biden administration, those 4 years under the Biden administration with the open borders. They didn't kill plenty. Some of them have killed quite a few American, especially American women. And this one is about Breitbart. Breitbart. Shout out to Breitbart. So it's titled, now this happened in Virginia. One of my videos is about, I did a video about the new governor of Virginia not too long ago. So this happened, all this right here is happening under her watch. The one that just became governor out there in Virginia. Abigail Spanberg. Okay, this is titled Virginia. Illegal alien with 30 prior arrests charged with murdering woman at a bus stop. This man had been arrested 30 times. 9 times out of 10 violent, but we'll get into that. I'm gonna play that video right there, that quick video in a little bit, then talk about it. So here's what I'm gonna read you. An illegal alien with over 30 prior arrests is accused of killing a woman at a Virginia bus stop on Monday. And the blame is being placed at Democrat officials' feet. Okay. That's the guy right there. They on the, you see on the bus right there. Detectives are seeking Abdul Jalal Halak. 32. He was the last person seen with our victim in Habla Valley. He may be dangerous, so please do not make any attempt to interact with him. Anyone with any info on his whereabouts is asked to call 911. 1-866-411-TIPS. That's what they call theirs out there. So, the agency said the criminal alien has over 30 arrests. Once the Fairfax County Police Department charged him for fatally stabbing 41-year-old Stephanie Minter of Fredericksburg at a bus stop. Now, this is the picture of her. This is Stephanie Minter. She had a family who loved her. This is the illegal person that they're talking about that had all those arrests. Police say she was stabbed to death Monday at a Fairfax County, Virginia bus stop by Abdul Halak Jalal, who was free to offend despite a lengthy arrest history that included violent felonies. Ours in the state blame progressive county county. So that's the young lady right there, and that's the killer. A local business owner spotted the suspect on Tuesday and alerted police to his location. Chala was arrested and charged with murder, and he was also charged with petty larceny for an additional crime that occurred earlier that day. Are you serious? Earlier that day. The DHS press release said nothing he entered. Press said nothing. He entered the United States illegally in 2012. So that's how long he's been here. He was previously arrested on charges of, well, hey, this gonna be YouTube, so still saying that word, gotta say great, but y'all see the word. Malicious wounding, assault, drug possession, identity theft, trespassing, larceny, firing a weapon, contributing to the delinquency of a minor, and pickpocketing. You got crime down. You got all the crime categories down pat down. ICE previously lodged a detainer against Allah in 2020, and he was granted a final order of removal by a judge who found he could be removed to any country other than Syria Leone. This case illustrated the importance of third country removals to get criminal illegal aliens out of the U.S., DH explained. In a social media post on Tuesday, Virginians, Safe Communities, the case and said Fairfax Soros funded DA Steve Descano repeatedly freed violent criminal and vagrant Abdul Jalal, who stabbed and assaulted people over and over again. Descano dropped Jalal's charges every single time. And then y'all notice it said a Soros funded DA. That George Soros billionaire guy that I was talking to y'all about, they found out that was funding a lot of those riots and stuff that was going on out there in Minnesota. I did a video on him, about that too, with him and his face and stuff mentioning in it. So this DA was funded by him. Okay. And like this right here says, not normal. Fairfax Soros funded DA, so it was repeatedly freed violent criminal. Okay, yeah, I just read that. Well, they actually had it up there, so I'm not gonna read that one again. But that's his face right here. They dropped all of Killer's prior violent charges, so he'd have been arrested 30 plus times already before killing this young lady at the bus stop. And this is picture here, riding, of course, riding on the bus. And D. Toscano, who is a Democrat, has been pursuing a not guilty plea for a man accused of violently murdering a husband as he slept next to his wife. Jesus Christ. Breitbart News reported in January. Mom Nicole Mentors. Blood is on his hands, which is true. It says Fairfax DA Steve Descano got Nicole Mentor killed. Abdul Jalal had 42 prior charges, 30 plus arrests, 4 times attempted murder. Jesus Christ. And it was dropped. 4 felonies downgraded to misdemeanors, no jail. 18 convictions, yet total time served equals 8 months. Jesus, but if you miss a child support payment, they keeping your ass. But anyway, that's another story. So the way they got it, posted up here, he freed him and he kills her. 41-year-old mom, Nicole Mentor. It is also important to note that Governor Abigail Spanberger, I just said that name, recently repealed an executive order that directed law enforcement to work with ICE, the outlet said. As Breitbart News reported on February 2025, former Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin signed an executive order that directed the Virginia State Police and Department of Corrections to sign Section 287G agreements with ICE. As a matter of fact, I think this right here, man, was a typo because I did read somewhere else. She did directed law enforcement. This right here is actually supposed to say not to work with ICE. Same thing that the governor and the mayor was doing out there in Minnesota with their police department, not to work with ICE and not to back them up and stuff like that. With ICE, the report is stated, Spanberger and her fellow Democrats have been working to prioritize illegal aliens over law-abiding citizens. They've been doing that. We just saw what happened at Trump's State of the Union address, and I think they played right into his trap on that one. It was a lot of things that they supposed to be, everybody on both sides supposed to be standing up for, clapping. Hey, yeah, hey, that's a good thing, clap. But when he got toward the end, he said, "Stand up if you believe that the number one first priority to the U.S. government is to protect U.S. citizens over illegal aliens." This whole right side over here stood up, everybody clapped, and then they showed their camera different angles. Nobody on the Democrat side stood up or clapped and said nothing. They didn't even stand up and clap when they gave a medal of 100-year-old veteran that was out there in the audience. That gave him a medal. They didn't stand up clap for that. It was a little girl. She had got injured, and I think she got hurt real bad. I don't think she was a good 10 years old, and she was out there in the audience too. Also, for everybody to stand up. She survived that car accident that this illegal alien was driving this 18-wheeler, which is multiple stories about that. These illegals have CDLs. They didn't go to school for it. They just handed them out, thousands across the country. Drove the 18-wheeler into her and her family's vehicle and messed her up real bad. But she survived it. Everybody stood up to clap for him except who? This side, the Democrat side. They couldn't even stand up, man, for that. And people got mad when Trump said, "These people are crazy." I'm telling you, they can't even stand up for that. But anyway, back to this right here. But my point is, they've been putting illegal aliens over U.S. citizens. That's their game over there. That's why they don't want them gone. That's their voting base. They can't win elections without them. But anyway, Spanberg and her fellow Democrats have been working to prioritize illegal aliens over law-abiding citizens. And during the Democratic Party's official response to President Donald Trump's State of the Union address on Tuesday, Spanberger called illegal aliens aspiring Americans. Really? In regard to the Jalal case, DHS Deputy Assistant Secretary Lauren Biss said, "We are calling on Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger and Virginia's sanctuary politicians to commit to not releasing this murderer and violent career criminal from their jail without notifying ICE." Now, we're going to see what they're going to do about that one. But I'm going to make sure I kind of stay up on this story. This illegal alien's murder of an innocent, beautiful American woman came less than 24 hours before Governor Spanberger's demonization of ICE law enforcement. This heinous criminal is a perfect example of why we need cooperation from sanctuary jurisdictions and the importance of third countries removal for the safety of the American people, she added. So, but yeah, a lot of that has been going on. She's not, and she hasn't been the first case. She hasn't been the first case where a legal alien did murder an American citizen. It's multiple cases. Like when y'all ever hear where Laken Riley and stuff like that. So CNN and MSNBC, they call MS now and all of that. Even The View, none of these people have been talking about these American women that have been murdered by these illegal aliens, the violent ones anyway. Laken Riley, I'm sure y'all heard of that name, and this a name right here that will catch you since everything's about black. This 19-year-old black girl by the name of, you can look this up. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. Her name is Dakara Thompson. She was 19, beautiful young lady. She was kidnapped by an illegal alien, and they raped her over and over again and tossed her over the bridge like a trash bag. They didn't say nothing. They didn't do no coverage on. They didn't do coverage on her like that at all. Basically, I'm surprised. Al Sharpton, he didn't pop his little turtleneck ass up out his shell to say something about it. Since everything's supposed to be, black, black, black. But it's another story. But this is the reason why these illegal aliens, they need to go back. They need to get sent back, man, where they came from. Don't get me wrong. I know it's some over here that's actually over here that want to work, they're staying out the way, keeping their head down, ain't bothering nobody. But that what's that saying, that one apple spoils the whole bunch? It's like, but they have been coming after the violent ones. They have lists. They have list of names. They have pictures and everything. The problem is you got judges every time you look around. Judges are blocking the deportation stuff. You got protesters, so-called protesters, they rioters in the way of ICE, looking for these people like this. Because they're coming to arrest them and so they can deport them back to where they come from. This don't make any sense. This man been arrested 30 plus times for violent stuff, attempted murder, all of that. And he's constantly right back out on the street. For what? For him to do it again. But that's Democratic policies. I hate to say it like that though, but that's what's going on. But like I said, shout out to Breitbart about this. Like I said, nobody, and this just happened days ago. What was it? One day last week. I'm just not doing a story about it, but I had caught it when it first came to my phone. And heart goes out to her. My heart and prayers goes out to this young lady's family, and she was a mother. Pray the kids, they get through it and be okay. But this doesn't make any sense. This right here has to stop, has to cease. That's why they want these illegals up out of here. And Trump is doing all he can to get them up out of here. And a lot of people have a problem with that. They have a problem with that. But you didn't have a problem when Obama did it. And all of them, that was their motto. Get these illegals up out of here and close off our borders. What's changed? The guy that's in there, that's what's changed. The one that you don't like. I'm going to play this right quick before we get up out of here.
We're learning new information about the woman who was murdered at a Fairfax County bus stop. Within the hour, police have identified the victim as 41-year-old Stephanie Minter from Fredericksburg.
Investigators say she was stabbed by 32-year-old Abdul Jalloh near Richmond Highway and Arlington Drive in Hybla Valley. Degree murder.
As News 4's Mauricio Casillas explains, the suspect has a lengthy criminal record.
Leftover crime scene tape, an unsettling reminder of the brutal crime that occurred here at a bus stop off of Richmond Highway. Fairfax County police say preliminarily it appears the suspect, Abdul Jalloh, is accused of randomly attacking Stephanie Minter. They're still investigating a motive.
The victim was found suffering from upper body trauma inside the bus stop.
Tuesday morning, Fairfax County police put out an alert saying they were searching for Jalloh, labeling him as a person of interest since he was the last person seen with the victim. By Tuesday night, Jalloh was taken into custody on an unrelated theft charge. According to Virginia criminal case records, Jalloh has a lengthy criminal history, which includes multiple assault and larceny charges and felony malicious wounding charges in May and August of last year. News 4 reached out to the Fairfax County Commonwealth's Attorney's Office to ask about Jalloh's criminal past and asked for more context as to why Jalloh was not in custody for previous crimes. In a statement, the Commonwealth's Attorney's Office says it convicted Abdul Jalloh in a 2023 case. The office adds it's aware of the risk he posed to the community, but writes in part, quote, "Unfortunately, the defendant in this case also had a history of selecting victims with no fixed address, some of the most vulnerable members of our community. In multiple cases, we were unable to move forward with prosecution because victims could not be located or court," end quote. As for the people who use this bus stop, they say they were shocked to hear what had happened just a few days ago.
Like a tragedy, because that's like a public area, you know, there's kids around here, and make you feel kind of weary of, you know, just headed to work at a bus stop, you know, something like that.
Sucedió una escena muy desagradable, pues lo que fue un asesinato de una persona.
This bus rider says it was troubling to know that someone was murdered there, a bus stop that he frequently uses. Detectives are still conducting interviews and collecting video surveillance from the scene to determine the circumstances that led up to the deadly stabbing. In Hybla Valley, Mauricio Casillas, News 4.
So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, about wraps that up. But yeah, feel sorry, you know, that was a main tragedy, and that just happened, like I said, out there in Virginia. It's not the only state or city that's been going on in. But subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it, and tell me your comments down below. Peace.